I work hard for the money.
Well, hello, Sherry. What's going on? Phone call, you mean? Right on. I think I might wait for the next map. It's like 10 minutes away before I start playing. Just a warning.
I work hard for the money.
order for my stuff shipped yet. Six minutes left. Is that you, Wraith?
I work hard for the money. I work hard for the money. Time to go to World's Edge. It's my favorite edge.
I'm ecstatic to fight.
A match a day keeps the doctor away. Just kidding. I'm made of metal.
Trust nature, then trust yourself.
Introducing your champion.
By the time you see me coming, I'll be going, and you'll be gone.
Let's land here. Let's go!
Let's explore this way.
I found some materials. Sharing is caring.
Materials here.
Found an Evo shield here. Level 2.
Attention. First blood.
I have gathered materials.
First kill. On the bright side, it wasn't us.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
New ring is distant. I have materials for us.
Ring's not close, and we've only got 45 seconds.
I don't know, I like this map better than Storm Point, but yeah, it's not as fun as it used to be.
Watch out for the new kill leader, friend.
Everyone just lands fragment and the rest of the map is just dead.
Warning. Movement in progress.
Ring's moving. Come on. I'm trying to hurt anyone outside of it. there. Maybe I'm waterproof. What do you think I am? Mirage?
Care package online. Save us from the gods.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 2.
I need it.
Volt SMG here.
Cargo boat.
I found some materials. Sharing is caring. I found some materials. Sharing is caring.
Thanks.
New kill leader appointed.
Replicator over there.
Hey, we're spread out a lot. Look at the map.
Un moment. I'm crafting.
New kill leader appointed.
Watch out for the new kill leader, friend.
Crafting. I will not be long. Never mind. I need light ammo.
Light ammo here.
Let's go this way. Forget that.
Half the squads remain.
Attention.
Extended light
There
mag
is
here.
a new kill leader.
Keep eyes. Dibs.
I've spotted an enemy.
Thanks.
Extended at flatline here. Heavy ammo here. Laying fences. Anyone passes through here will know.
Trust in the All Father.
Diversion here. Fence placed.
Attention. There is a new kill leader.
Careful. New kill leader.
Let's go there.
Bless me with sight.
Tossing an arcstar. Tossing down. Broken enemy shield. I downed an enemy. Last one down. Yeah.
We've destroyed the kill leader. All go for.
Extended light mag here. Level 2. Evo shield here. Level 3. Sniper stock here. Level
Round
3.
2. Beginning ring countdown.
Heavy ammo here. Extended heavy mag here.
Does this guy
Level
have to
3.
ping everything?
Attention.
Three.
Delivering replicator.
I'm standing right
Shot
here.
cargo boat. Blessings upon us. A replicator to see optics here. Close range.
Merci.
The gods will bless us both this
Looking for an
day.
extended energy mag. Gotta hop up here. Skull piercer.
Needed. There is an extended energy mag here. Level 2.
Materials for all.
I got some materials for us. Yay!
I'm crafting. Crafty, no?
Crafting. One moment. Contact. Bless me with sight. I have gathered materials.
Let's go here. Allons-y. Adding a bit of je ne sais quoi.
My ultimate is ready. The hunt begins.
Lucky us, we are already inside the ring.
Pens in position. The circuit is complete.
Care package being delivered.
Care package on high.
Contact.
That's the enemy.
Move here. Care package over here.
All father, give me some.
Someone rampage here.
Target over there.
Round 3. Beginning ring countdown.
Lucky us, we are already inside the ring.
Got them. Hostile over there. Scanning the area. Recharging my shields.
We are the replicator here.
Delivering replicator.
I am taking fire.
Recharging shields. Keep eyes on the new kill leader.
I've broken enemy. I'm bleeding out. Enemy right here.
Recharging shields.
Enemy very close.
Reloading. Do we have an opening fire on the enemy.
What's going on, Quad Stacker? How are you today?
The leaves start to fall, and influenza starts to circulate. First District Health Unit now has flu vaccine for everyone 6 months and up. To make an appointment, a listen for digital sounds. Remove background noise so you can focus on the sounds that matter. With active noise cancellation and up to 40 times amplification, 9 out of 10 healthcare professionals hear sounds more clearly with the Littman Core stethoscope. Get the stethoscope that works as hard as you this holiday season and save $50 on the Littman Core at Echo. Shop now at echohealth.com. That's ekohealth.com.
The little things in life are often taken for granted. But what if you paid attention to the details around you better than others, and you noticed something was deeply wrong, but no one else would believe it? Would you survive, or would you be forgotten too?
Come with me. You will experience tales of horror, ghosts, and death. It is not recommended for the weak at heart. Listen in the dark. It's more fun that way. This is Weekly Spooky.
Hello, my friends. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for a little spooky in your weekly. I'm your host and narrator, Henrik Kuto, and we have a brand new story from a brand new author, and I'm very excited to reveal it to you. But first, I need to say thank you so very much. And if you could, make sure you're subscribed on your favorite podcasting app because you see, October is our season. It's a time when the spooky really permeates, and we'll have plenty of excellent shows for you. So make sure you're subscribed. And while you're over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other app, why not leave us a star rating? It's a free way to help us bring in brand new listeners. And from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate it. We also have a brand new episode of Monthly Spooky coming up next Monday. It's our scary, funny talk show that I think you'd really enjoy if you need to blow off some steam, and not just the steam from your pumpkin spice latte. And by the way, over on Patreon, we have 89 backers. I want to see us hit 100 this year. Will you help us make that goal? For as little as $1 a month, you get bonus content and my undying appreciation. So check it out at weeklyspooky.com. That's where you can find out everything you could ever need to know about our show. At weeklyspooky.com, there's merchandise and so much more to make sure you have the proper amount of spooky in your day. But for now, my friends, it's time for a story. So get yourself comfortable, get yourself a snack, and we're coming at you right after this word from our sponsors.
it's that time of year again. when the temperatures get cooler, the leaves start to fall, and influenza starts to circulate. First District Health Unit now has flu vaccine for everyone 6 months and up. To make an appointment in the Minot office, to find your nearest walk-in vaccination clinic, or to register your student for flu shots at school, go to fdhu.org or call your local First District office. Don't let the flu stop you. Schedule today.
At Dickinson State University, you'll be prepared to succeed in the classroom, in competition, in performance, and in life. Join us from a distance via DSU Live or at DSU Bismarck and Williston, entirely online or on campus to experience the action firsthand. Classes are offered.
I cannot wait to win this match, friend.
Are you ready to win at Dickinson State University? Visit dickinsonstate.edu/champions for more information.
Honestly, we should have used a condom, but we got distracted.
I know I should be tested for HIV, but honestly, I'm afraid to find out.
Honestly, we've been together for a while, so getting tested never really crossed my mind.
Introducing your champion.
No one wants to
Take
think about
care
it,
when you approach
but
me.
there are things that
I'm in a
everyone can do
class
to
of
help
my
protect
own.
their sexual
About all of your prevention options.
Because honestly,
Our health is worth protecting.
find out more at gethonestabouthiv.com.
Not Them by Tyler Young. My name is Anthony Thomas. I'm a paranormal investigator. Yeah, you heard that right. I investigate the things that go bump in the night and make sure they know that someone out there bumps back. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and as you might expect, I've seen a lot of strange and weird things that I can't really explain. Ghosts, demons, ghouls, eldritch abominations, I've seen them all. I used to have a partner I worked cases with back in the day. Margaret Clark was her name. She was a fierce one, to be sure. A no-bullshit type, ready to jump into action without hesitation. We actually got an award for rescuing some infant children from a group of vampires back in the day. We were hailed as heroes.
Hey, thanks.
Margaret and I were close, and we would get drinks every Friday night at the local bar by the office, and sometimes her wife Courtney would join us. Typically, we'd just blow off steam, have a smoke, and go off on the latest spooky creature that we had to deal with that day. I always admired her determination.
Let's put the spotting down
She
here.
never liked putting other people's lives at risk. She would always put her life on the line to help anybody. But it had to be hers, no one else's. Suppose she may have seen herself as a hero. I miss working with her. It's a real shame what happened. This all started on a Monday morning. I had just arrived at the office and was still recovering from a pretty bad hangover from being out late. I had just sat down and taken my first sip of coffee, and in walked someone I didn't recognize. I asked her how I could help, and with a strange look she said, "Oh, it's me." I stared up at her. She looked nothing like her at all. It was a young woman, in her early 30s. She was dressed in a gray blazer, dress pants, and heels. She gave a rather uncomfortable grin and asked if I had. Understandably confused and slightly annoyed, I asked her if this was and told me that I was being silly. I told her this isn't funny, and I want to know where Margaret was. She just laughed it off and suggested we start getting to work on this next case. She sat down at her desk like it was no big deal and just started reading over a case file, wearing that big grin. I decided not to ask further about Margaret as I was pretty sure this wasn't going to go anywhere, so I decided to just let it play out. I mean, maybe it was a prank. Perhaps Margaret paid this woman to pretend to be her in an effort to catch my ghost. So we carried on the day like normal, if you could call it that. Her wife Courtney stopped by the office and brought her lunch, She ran up and kissed her cheek with the same enthusiasm as I was surprised at first. I asked Courtney if she knew who this person was, and she thought I was joking. She told me this is Margaret, her wife. This was the moment I realized. This wasn't a prank. Courtney is a bad liar and would always avoid eye contact whenever she was lying. When I questioned her about Margaret, she was looking me in the eyes. I wanted to ask further about how this could possibly be Margaret, but what use would that be? They'd just start to think I'm being crazy. I've done this job enough over the years to know when not to ask questions. I spent the day interviewing possible new clients with this thing. The Margaret I knew was tall and had long, dark, black-blue colored hair and piercing green eyes. But this thing had short, sandy blonde hair and bright blue eyes. It was unsettling, to say the least. I didn't know what to do. How could I prove that this person or thing was not my partner? She left for a bathroom, so I figured I'd examine the desk. First thing that caught my eye was that the wedding picture had changed. It was as if the Margaret I knew, not Margaret. I had passed by that picture every day when I came into work, and this couldn't have been the same photo. For some reason, I had this urge to check the photos on my phone. As I looked at them, I was horrified. All of the pictures of Margaret were replaced, just like the one on her desk. It was impossible to comprehend. This person I've been working with for years just suddenly vanishes like she never even existed. I ran back to my desk just as the thing that was pretending to be Margaret returned from her bathroom break. She looked at me and just gave me the same wide grin. She knew what she was doing. A few days passed by and I was staying home. The office wasn't safe. I didn't know where to start. All I knew was that I needed to get to the bottom of this. What was I supposed to do? How do you prove an imposter is an imposter when it seems to have the ability to manipulate reality to make it seem like it's always been there? Maybe there was a blind spot I could explore somehow. The only thing I could think of was the pictures. I had plenty on my phone, but did it affect Polaroids? I did have a few of them with us lying around. I found an old photo album and started searching for them. And I found 3 pictures of Margaret. My Margaret. There she was exactly as I remembered her. I wondered if this was going to be enough to prove to Courtney that her wife wasn't the woman she had married. I decided to return to work the next day and keep an eye on this not Margaret. She didn't do much out of the ordinary apart from the usual paperwork and meeting with potential clients that came in. She seemed to be paying just as much attention to me. It must know that I'm onto it. So, after over a week of just keeping an eye on it, they invited me out for a drink since it was Friday. But I told them I wasn't really feeling well and decided to just head home. They seemed disappointed, but didn't stop me. I had a feeling it was going to try something to get the better of me, and I decided I would wait at home and see if it would try to follow me and try something. So I lit a cigarette and waited in my apartment for something to happen. The hours went by, and nothing happened. How odd that was. Wasn't it trying to get the upper hand on me? I didn't know what I should do till I got a text on my phone. And it was a picture of Courtney, staring, and the old warehouse just outside of the city. It was followed with the words, "We have a nice surprise for you. Come, join us." She's using Courtney to get to me. Smart. It's what I would have done. Well, I knew I had to act fast, so I ran out to my car and tried to get there as quickly as possible. I pulled up to the warehouse. It was a large building decaying and falling apart, rusted to hell and probably filled with asbestos from top to bottom. I entered the building. It was dark, with only a few sources of light in the entire building. I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight. I started walking down the metallic corridor. I was starting to be reminded of an old horror game I used to play, where creatures would be hiding around every corner, ready to jump you. That's what wandering into this warehouse felt like, just waiting for something to jump out at any second. I started to hear a scream. It sounded like Courtney. I ran as fast as I could and came across a staircase. I ran up the stairs and walked into a large room, and there she was. What I saw is difficult to describe, but I'll try my best. The thing that was pretending to be my partner was big. Its limbs had stretched out as it towered over us like a giant. Its eyes were pure milky white, and all around its body were screaming faces swirling around, desperately trying to claw out of that organic prison. There's no way to describe the horror that I felt. It looked down at me almost as if it hadn't noticed I had entered the room. "Welcome, Anthony. I'm glad you could join us." The impossible grin was wider now, and it displayed its very sharp teeth. Courtney looked in terror and shouted, "What the hell is this thing?" I told her, "It's the thing that killed your wife." The creature started laughing, taking such amusement from the pain it created. And she was delicious. I pulled out my gun and started firing bullets into its fleshy body. It seemed to do little damage, so I grabbed Courtney and we ran out of that room as fast as we could. We were halfway down the stairs when the creature burst through the doors. I dropped my phone during the rush, so we had no light. We had to think of something. How could we kill this creature? If bullets don't work, what will? Courtney and I hid behind some large pillars and out of sight of the creature. I lit my lighter so we could see where we were going. Then, as I looked at it, I got an idea. I asked Courtney if she had any pepper spray handy. She handed me the spray off her keychain, and I took out my lighter. I told her very carefully, "When I say run, run." The creature was moving around slowly, lurking. "Anthony, Courtney, please come out. I don't mean any harm. I just want you to become part of me and join my little family." Family. Is it some sort of flesh hive? It's not enough that it consumes its victims. It keeps them alive by making you become one with it. I can't think of a greater hell. Eyeing the exit sign, I told Courtney to run. She dashed as fast as possible, and the creature chased after her, giving me enough time to run up behind it. I took the pepper spray and lit my lighter, and it became a flamethrower. The creature screamed in agony as its entire body mass was engulfed in flames. It ran around until finally collapsing to the ground and burning until it was nothing but ash. I examined the remains and didn't find anything left of it. I just had to make sure this thing was dead and finished. I exited the building and found Courtney hugging her knees, crying quietly. I sat down next to her. I shared my regret and sadness that we couldn't save Margaret. She didn't understand what I was sorry for, considering I was the one that saw through the thing's disguise. Did I see through it, though? Or was I just lucky enough to not be affected by its power to warp reality? I don't know how long we waited, but as soon as we heard the police sirens, I knew it was best to leave. It's been a few weeks since the incident, and I haven't seen much of Courtney. She's probably still grieving. Can't exactly get over the death of a loved one right away. I'm still recovering from the shock and mental scars it left me. I'll manage, and I'm glad that creature is dead. I only hope there aren't more like it out there. I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did. I think Tyler has a lot of skill, and I hope he'll submit.
This episode was made possible by Casper. With a new season comes new savings. This autumn, cozy up to one of Casper's award-winning mattresses to help you catch your best Z's. Look, unprecedented times call for an unprecedented price. So Casper has upgraded their popular Element mattress with premium materials, all for just $9.95 for a queen. Their newest mattress features Airscape breathable foam and adds an extra layer for responsive comfort and long-lasting support. Their most popular mattress, the Casper Original Hybrid mattress, is the one that started it all, and it's engineered for cool, comfortable sleep. I sleep on mine every single night, and I will never go back to a traditional mattress. Do you need to try it to believe it? As always, Casper offers free contactless delivery and a risk-free 100-night trial. Discover the Casper difference today at Casper.com and use code 13days100 for $100 off select mattresses. That's code 13DAYS100 for $100 off select mattresses. Exclusions apply. 13 Days of Halloween is from Grim and Mild, Blumhouse, and iHeart 3D Audio. Headphones recommended. Listener discretion advised.
The rain is coming. We have to hurry down.
You all can't possibly be holding your gathering in this weather.
We wait for this weather, child.
What? Why?
Because the fury of the storm finally matches the fury inside of each of us.
I have questions.
Of course you do.
What is the gathering? And who is George Barrow?
It's time for you to take the medicine. The medicine the doctor gave you.
What?
The medicine the doctor gave you. You still have it.
Yes.
Then take it.
I feel fine.
It's preventative.
Who is George Barrow? Why do I know that name?
If you take your medicine, I will tell you.
Fine.
Good. Come on, I'll tell you as we walk down to the shore. I don't remember my mother. We have that in common. And I don't know any of the details of my birth. All I know is what I have been told. That I was found on the beach, not far from where you woke. I was found without so much as a swaddle by Papa. Silent, wide-eyed, the waves lapping at my feet. Papa said it was a miracle that he happened out that night at all. He says I could have drowned or frozen if he hadn't wandered out. I don't remember when he found me, but I have dreamt about how I got there. Countless gentle hands, fins, tentacles, all passing me through the dark water to my lonely spot on the shore. I did not arrive in Dyerbrook by accident. I was placed there. It was a solitary childhood, though it never felt lonely. Papa did not care for the townspeople, and he tried to keep me away from them in my earliest days. He did not trust them. He did not trust the town or the sea, or frequently his own eyes. He forbade me from ever going into Dyerbrook without him. Our trips for supplies and food were brief. I wasn't allowed to speak to anyone, but as time passed, I began to recognize faces. The mayor with his toothy smile like a shark's. The priest with his stooped back and scars. But especially the boy. The boy with the green eyes. It was him, hiding behind the trees, peeking around the corners on the street every time we came into town, that I found myself drawn to. His name, George Barrow. His family had been in the town for generations, and he was the last of his line, and I was mesmerized by him. Of course, he was the only boy I'd ever met, but he was drawn to me too. Without knowing why, one night I woke, and without thought I put on my sweater and my jeans. I slipped on my shoes and went outside. I hadn't the foggiest idea of where I was going, only that I had to see George. And then, like magic, there he was. I found him at the well, whispering secrets into it. He did not seem surprised to see me. That night we walked all over town, and he divulged many of the same secrets that I've told you today. He told me that the townspeople all spoke of the lighthouse keeper's daughter all of the time. That the whole village seemed to hold its breath when we came in the shop. I asked why, and he smiled. "You're the mother," he said. And when I asked him what he meant, he told me that all would come clear in time. We began sneaking to see each other almost nightly. I was smitten, and so was George. I really do believe he loved me, despite everything that came after. It was, after all, love that destroyed everything. Love, great and terrible. When finally he introduced us, George's family loved me. His friends loved me. And as I met through him more and more of the townsfolk, I couldn't help but wonder what Papa was so concerned about. These people were pure kindness. I couldn't walk down Main Street without someone gifting me a flower. The baker, a fresh cinnamon bun. The pastor, a kind smile. And what's more, they all called me Mother. I did not know why, nor could I get an answer. They'd all just say, "Soon enough, Mother. When you've married, Mother. You just wait. You are special, and you are loved." Who was I to argue with people who regarded me so highly? Are you quite all right, dear? Yes, my head is swimming, and the visions in the sky swimming. The medicine kicking in. Good girl. Can you keep on? Yes. I feel good. Excellent. I finally told Papa. He flew into a rage. I had never seen that before. He was always so even-tempered, but warned that I would come to a sorry end, that George would lead me to ruin. So I let George lead me to ruin. We were married on my 20th birthday. The whole town was there. And though Papa refused to walk me down the aisle, when my face searched the crowd, he was there. His eyes wet, his face so much older. I found out on my wedding night the truth. The pastor may speak the words of the Father in the sea, may make his own small sacrifices, but the mother carries the Father's promise to land. Our God is not a jealous God. He requires very little of us day to day. He doesn't care much for mortal matters. He does not punish us for our sins. Just as a judge on his bench does not adjudicate the squabbles of children. Both have more important matters to deal with. That does not mean, however, that the Father does not involve himself in our lives. He listens to our prayers and is generous with his blessings. But he does not give gifts freely. Each blessing requires payment. Each person living here has given and has received. For small blessings, a small payment is exacted. A pinprick of blood for a sunny wedding. A beloved pet sacrificed so that a child may recover from a troubling illness. People cannot survive on a patchwork of such small blessings, especially not in a place such as Dyrebrook, with its rocky soil and choppy harbor. For that, something much larger is required. Do you understand? This is where Mother comes in. Every few generations, the Mother appears on the shore. It is written that the entirety of society is to watch out for her, to keep her safe, to keep her sheltered and well fed. For it is the mother's duty to give birth to the child of the father of the sea. Great responsibility, yes. And one that I only became aware of once George and I found out that we were expecting. It was the day the doctor told me that I was with child, that everything changed. When I walked out, the whole town was waiting for me in the street, just silent, watching. They parted for us when we stepped forward, making a path that led to the front doors of the church. So George and I went where we were welcomed by the priest. And that is when I learned the terrible truth of the mother. We were given freely to the people, but for the people to thrive, my child must be returned to the sea. When the child was born, it was to be taken down to the water and stoned to death, and cast into the water for the father to keep. Such was the prize of it. Healthy crops and full nets of ruddy-faced children and infinite good weather. It wasn't fair. I didn't ask for prosperity or peace. I didn't ask for healthy crops or full nets. All I asked for was my own meager happiness. The joy of an orphan who has built her own family. I asked Mother to follow me in the sea. I was afraid to tell George at first, and so I told Papa, and he was the one who made the plan. One night, as George slept, I crept out of the house, across the town square, and out to the road where a truck was waiting for me. Papa stood there, talking to its driver, who had agreed to take me south that night to safety. We said our goodbyes, and I rode away from here. I had a daughter. She was lovely, and she smiled often, and had eyes of Kelly green. We lived in a small house, far away from any shore, a place where it was always warm. A small room that I rented from a widow. No one knew we were there. We were safe and content. And then Papa wrote to me. He said that George had gone nearly out of his mind when we left in the months that followed. That he begged and pleaded and threatened Papa for the information. But it was never given up. He said George grew discouraged, and then finally, as months turned into years, finally had stopped eating. We could cruise over here. Sleeping, bathing. Said he was wasting away from misery. Let's scope this quadrant and said that he believed George would soon be dead. I was foolish. I went to him. I don't know why. I left my child with the widow. I made her swear to keep her safe, and I came to find George. I think I believed I'd be able to bring him home to our daughter. Well, they started to arrive. Who? Our friends and our neighbors. The gathering is almost upon us.
What happened to George?
Oh, George was dead.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And he was blamed for my disappearance and for the disappearance of the child that was to be Dyerbrooke's payment to the father in the sea. They buried him in concrete in the cemetery so that his body would never be returned to the ocean. Jesus. I was caught while visiting his grave. Oh, they tortured me. They threatened. No matter what, I wouldn't give up the location of my child. I wasn't allowed to leave. Even if I could escape the people, the town would just roll me back. But the child was safe. Years passed, and then more years. I watched the town decline, and I hardened my heart against it. I watched as the nets came up empty, as families went hungry. I watched as people died from all sorts of strange illness. Grew colder towards each other. I watched boats sink, and the deadness appeared on our shore. I thought myself an island. And then the children disappeared. The father in the sea took them from us. Because of me. Because of my selfishness. My inability to see my role in this story. Love had made me blind. And so I came to the ocean, and I prayed every day at dawn. When the sun comes up and lights the waves, I prayed for my child's return. I bargained with our God. I cut myself on seashells and bled into the water to seal that bargain. And I came back day after day, month, and then finally, on the day my child was to turn 20, the widow wrote to me. A sorrowful sort of note, begging my forgiveness. For what? For the death of my daughter. Hello, Pastor.
Good evening. It's time.
Wait. Jeez. Wait.
Dear, take this final dram. It will finally make everything clear.
Go on, then.
I think we're
Go
going
on.
to do great, friend.
Toero car. Condutilo car. Regefio scoltiro car. Crearti blui.
You remember.
Took me to the beach. It was my birthday. I begged her. She said my mother wouldn't approve, that the ocean was dangerous. Oh, I was relentless. Hounded her about it day and night, and she was old and loved me and wanted to see me happy. With mother gone for so long. And so one morning, we packed our bag and grabbed towels and we went. And the sea was so vast. Exactly what I dreamt it would be. And oh, so blue. And it called to me. It called my name. I could hear its voice in my head as it said,
Cordelia.
the same name as my mother. Yes. I was drawn to it. I dropped everything and walked in. The poor widow, as she called for me, but I was entranced. She said it was dangerous, and I laughed. Because how silly, how stupid it sounded to think that just stepping in could be dangerous. But as I stepped in, it came out of nowhere.
What did?
The wave. As if it had been waiting for me.
It had.
It knocked me over, pulled me under, and the last thing I remember was my skull hitting the ocean floor, and I prayed for it. Why would you bring me back here?
We owed a debt.
I owed nothing. I asked for nothing.
It is not for us to decide. I will go with you to meet the Father in the sea.
No. 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 Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
Sorry. It is his will.
We now take them from your shore, stones smoothed by your glorious hand, to send your child home.
No. No. Put the rocks down.
Cordelia?
I don't want this. I don't.
Cordelia, it's over. It's the Father. Everything returns to him, including us. We shall celebrate tonight in his kingdom.
Cast the first stone.
Wait.
Be brave, daughter. Everything returns to him. Everything returns to him. Everything returns to him.
With this final stone, I send you back to the Father.
Everything returns to him.
I need sniper ammo.
Cheers.
Sniper ammo here.
13 Days of Halloween. Everything Returns to the Sea. Starring Kathy Najimy, Bethany Ann Lind, and Nicholas Tukoski. Written by Nicholas Tukoski. Sound design and mixing by Josh Thane. Casting by Jessica Luza. Created by Matt Frederick and Alex Williams. With executive producer Aaron Mankey. A production of iHeartRadio. This episode was made possible by Casper. With a new season comes new savings. This autumn, cozy up to one of Casper's award-winning mattresses to help you catch your best Z's. Look, unprecedented times call for an unprecedented price. So Casper has upgraded their popular Element mattress with premium materials, all for just $9.95 for a queen. Their newest mattress features Airscape breathable foam and adds an extra layer for responsive comfort and long-lasting support. Their most popular mattress, the Casper Original Hybrid Mattress, is the one that started it all, and it's engineered for cool, comfortable sleep. I sleep on mine every single night, and I will never go back to a traditional mattress. Do you need to try it to believe it? As always, Casper offers free contactless delivery and a risk-free 100-night trial. Discover the Casper difference today at Casper.com and use code 13days100 for $100 off select mattresses. That's code 13DAYS100 for $100 off select mattresses. Exclusions apply. 13 Days of Halloween is a production of iHeartRadio, Blumhouse Television, and Grim and Mild from Aaron Mankey. Headphones recommended. Listener discretion advised.
Merci.
Heavy ammo here. No worries, mate. On you, mate.
My dearest friend, come in. The promise of eternity beckons to us. Are you prepared to witness what lies below? Good.
I have awaited this night for so many years. Shall we open the hatch? I'll take that as a yes. A stone stairwell. Oh my. Let us descend. Away we go. It is time, my friend, to put the pieces together for you. Tragedy struck early in his adulthood, when a plague swept through the region and took with it his wife. It left him alone with a young daughter and unfathomable grief. Thankfully, he was not without means. His late wife had inherited quite a fortune and left it all to their daughter. He promptly left the architecture firm for which he toiled since college and began his own strange business. A small firm with a single client. Himself. He became obsessed with a singular and secret goal. He immersed himself in occult histories, practices. He procured every arcane tome in existence. He constructed a modest library in which to house them, and hired a young man named Oliver to assist in his studies. Together, the pair scoured every grimoire, scroll, and religious rite in hopes of finding a cure for the architect's affliction. And after countless sleepless months, Oliver found it. A forbidden ritual recorded in a lost language to call forth an ancient entity, one with the power to shape time and space itself. At the appointed hour on the appointed night, the architect and Oliver cast a circle of obscure sigils. Together, they read aloud the vile incantations. Together, they spilled each other's blood. And together, they witnessed the impossible.
Let's go this way.
You have found me when so many before have failed. There it stood. At the circle's center, towering over them, eyes ablaze, an indescribable creature, born of shadow and flame. It looked upon the architect and said, "As reward, I shall grant you that which you most desire." The architect, without hesitation, replied, "I wish to bring my wife home, to be with her forever." The entity paused for a moment, then smiled. "Very well. But first, you shall require a temple worthy of her return. I shall grant you the time, the knowledge, and the will to construct such a place. You will see its dimensions written in the stars, and you shall build it just so. And at the bottom of the deepest level, you shall build a great stone door. When this work has been completed, and on the final night of harvest, you shall walk through that door, and your wife shall return, and you will be together for eternity. Look to the stars, architect." It was gone. Immediately, the architect, with all of his assistants, began in earnest. First, they built a wondrous observatory, and with it, saw in the stars a great house. Together they laid the cornerstone, and thus the foundation of the house. Oh, but the time it took to build. Months became years. Years, decades. The architect grew cold, obsessive, and cruel. He shunned society altogether and alienated his only child, who in her own time passed. But walls went up and the labyrinthine house grew, and the greater it swelled, so grew the architect's pride and cruelty, until, finally, Oliver laid the last stone at the threshold of this doorway. This very stone, pure obsidian, dug from a mine in Iceland, carried across the sea to be laid as a footstep toward ascension. My friend, we are here, and the moment is again at hand. See the sigils drawn in circles? See how they guide our steps toward the great door? See how they glow. My dearest companion, it would honor me greatly. It would make my heart sing if you walked through first. It is all right to be afraid. The architect was afraid. Follow the voices. They will guide you, and I shall be close at your heels. Go on, then. Yes. Oh, you glow, my friend. It is all happening. Is the architect afraid? He knew that the creature he summoned that placed him on this path was untrustworthy. And so he invited Oliver to take the first steps toward ascent. Yes, my dearest friend. I owe you everything. You dragged me from a life of drudgery into a world of signs and riches and wonders. When we built this house of the stars, this house of whispers from beyond, I did not know that it would become my prison. When you convinced me to venture first, you sealed both of our fates. When I walked through this door instead of you, the entity appeared before us. I accept Oliver as caretaker of my temple, and you, architect, for your cowardice. I curse you with everlasting shadow. And so you, the great architect, were reduced to a mere shade. Without memory, without voice, without even a name. What was once a magnificent art, the greatest in history, now nothing more than a blank page. Even now, you are confused. But my dear architect, you have all of eternity to explore this place and to remember who you are. Take heart. Your wife is here. She has been since the night you betrayed me. She will always be with you, along with all the other tormented souls that arrived throughout the centuries. Unfortunately, in this state, you'll never know which face is hers. Do not look forlorn, friend. This will not be the last ascension. In a few hundred years, when the stars align again, perhaps you'll find another to take your place. This is for you to figure out. My time here is almost past. Mon ami, take care of your house, this temple, and make sure that its guests are well attended. Perhaps they will, on occasion, reward you with a tale to pass the time. It moves so terribly slow here. Fare thee well, friend. Look to the stars. I accept you, architect, as caretaker.
seeking shelter. Can you help me? Is this Hawthorne Manor?
Heads up. A bad dude landed by me.
I met a man
We
on
got
the road
trouble.
a ways back. He said he just came from here. It's a hotel. I might stay here. And he said the caretaker would meet me here by the gate. Is that you? Can you hear me? Are you the caretaker?
13 Days of Halloween was created by Matt Frederick and Alex Williams and executive produced by Aaron Mankey, starring Keegan-Michael Key as the caretaker. This episode was made possible by Casper. With a new season comes new savings. This autumn, cozy up to one of Casper's award-winning mattresses to help you catch your best Z's. Look, unprecedented times call for an unprecedented price. So Casper has upgraded their popular Element mattress with premium materials, all for just $9.95 for a queen. Their newest mattress features Airscape breathable foam and adds an extra layer for responsive comfort and long-lasting support. Their most popular mattress, the Casper Original Hybrid mattress, is the one that started it all, and it's engineered for cool, comfortable sleep. I sleep on mine, and I will never go back to a traditional mattress. Do you need to try it to believe it? As always, Casper offers free contactless delivery and a risk-free 100-night trial. Discover the Casper difference today at Casper.com and use code 13days100 for $100 off select mattresses. That's code 13DAYS100 for $100 off select mattresses. Exclusions apply. 13 Days of Halloween is a production of iHeartRadio, Blumhouse Television, and Grim and Mild from Aaron Mankey. Headphones recommended. Listener discretion advised.
Good evening, friend. I have something very special to show you, and the full impact of this particular place can only be felt on a cloudless night such as this. No need to change. Your nightwear is quite fitting for our destination. Come now, the heavens await. Once again, we must ride in our trusty elevator. This time, to the very top. Oh, watch your step. Tonight, we are going to see one of the architect's greatest achievements. You see, the design of this grand structure did not spring into his head unbidden. He ached to build his magnum opus, but sadly, he was without inspiration. Until a late-night journey to Ladd Observatory, where he and a writer of some distinction together saw something in the stars. A pattern, a celestial plan that only he could comprehend. You see, the stars spoke to our architect, and he responded with this place. Again, your step. Brace yourself for the universe. This is the Great Observatory, an exact replica of the facility where the architect had his epiphany, with minor adjustments here and there. This was the earliest part of Hawthorne Manor to be built, and the plans for the rest did not solidify until he further deciphered the heavens' secrets. Please, gaze into the telescope. How clear the stars are from here, yes? Directly above us, do you see? The constellations of Malacoda, Alicino, and Barbaricia, whose shapes the architect used in plotting the house's course. A house built to stretch the confines of space and time. Hello? Who goes there? Ah, why am I not surprised to find you up here on such a night? Be a dear and listen closely. We grow ever closer to our goal. The door. Remember? You remember. You two carry on. I shall fetch the astrolabe.
The magic of science is that it creates order from apparent chaos. This telescope captures photons, particles of light that have traveled billions of miles over billions of years, and transcribes them into a picture on a piece of glass you could hold in your hand. Your cell phone receives data encoded in radio waves and translates it into voices, images, symphony. Order from apparent chaos, where chaos really just means enough data points that we can't make sense of it. And some of science's most effective magic is more biological than you'd care to think. Maybe you've heard that your body is filled with microscopic organisms, that they outnumber your own cells. It's true. Most of them live in your guts. There are 9.8 million microbes common to the human microbiome, identified, sequenced, modified. Their combined genetic sequence is 30 times as long as the genomes of the humans who contain them. And with these microbes, science has programmed solutions to an astonishing number of human problems. Maybe you didn't know. The bugs in your gut train your immune system, touch your central nerves. The actions and byproducts of the creatures living inside you can control digestion, diabetes, heart disease, your body shape, your mental health, and on and on. You can solve any of these things by taking one pill or another. I take these for acne, others for anxiety. But my parents were always uncomfortable talking about the anxiety part.
Level 2.
One night, I was dog sitting for them. Another fundraiser gala, another chance for them to impress the sort of voters who only donate to the poor when they get an exclusive dinner out of it. I'd begged off. LSAT prep called, I told them. So that night I really meant that the couch called, and a literal eternity of streaming video potential. Besides, their dog, little Johnny, would poop in the closet if you left him alone for more than 3 consecutive hours. My intense hope for no one at the gala to let slip to my parents that I'd just accepted an internship with the Public Defense Office was basically ruining everything I tried to watch. The first vaguely suspicious thing I remember was a deep rumbling in my gut, like a video game controller when your character takes a hit, and another, a whole combo. But I figured it was errant gala anxiety, or that the leftover Thai curry I'd been finishing was a couple days too old. Either way, I was actively ignoring it when Johnny perked up, jumped off his couch, and click-clacked off down the hardwood hall toward the center of the house. And that was suspicious. Prime closet territory, so I followed. I found him sniffing at the crack to the lower level door. He barked at it once, as if experimenting with the sound. Then he shifted to a growl. My stomach shifted too. The rumble back, but sharp this time, the cramps snaking between my hips. That's when the smell hit me. Above the normal cellar must and sea salt twinge of that house, something sweet and thick that I couldn't define. And the sound, a rushing. So low, I thought it was my heartbeat in my ears until I realized it was the pipes. It was the house's blood, not mine, roiling through those pipes like the whole place was a shell I'd held up to my ear. In my guts. I'd heard of colonies acting odd, getting gassy before, but this hurt. I felt my skin crawling, and when I looked down, there was a shape. Shapes, pushing my shirt outward and pulling, puckering down, it felt like to the bone. Snatching the fabric away, I watched the flesh of my belly forming a moving image, ripples like smoke. A cold flush exploded from the base of my spine up to my brain, more hopeless than I'd ever felt before the pills, and without knowing that I'd started running.
Have you ever
lost time while you were driving, your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road, then you realize half an hour has passed and you don't remember any of it. Somehow, the meat of you functioned to drive the car while you were somewhere else. That's what it felt like. When I came back to myself, I was standing on the front lawn of my parents' house, the grass cold under my feet, and Johnny's fur soft as he squirmed against my arms. There was a streetlight at the end of the driveway, brighter and dimmer than brighter, perfectly in time with my still twisting insides. And at my back, the blistering heat of my parents' house, burning. Maybe I did hear something, a woof of ignition, that draw of breath a fire takes when it's catching hold. But all I remember is the sound, my guts turning over. It felt more like instinct, but I don't think it was mine. I guess it depends on how much you consider what lives inside of me to be me. Have you heard of that thought experiment, Theseus's paradox? You know, is a ship still the same ship if you've replaced every part of it? What if our initial blueprint isn't really us? How much needs to be added before we become ourselves? Does part of the mind, or whatever you want to call it, live in the gaps of that blueprint? I never did find an arsonist. The accelerant, it wasn't man-made. It was more like a biofuel. It was in the pipes. You know, they used microbes to make that stuff, too. Maybe it was all an accident, meaningless chaos. But what if I was responsible? What if they were responsible? This symbiotic colony of creatures inside me that are me